Okay, so I'm going to talk about servlets. Now, servlets allow us to connect to a server and allows us to basically get things from the server and post things to the servers, as well as even change things on the server. Before you basically create any kind of code for this, you need to download the Tomcat, Apache Tomcat. And then after you download that, you need to go into Eclipse, and basically you need to do some things in Eclipse to make sure the Apache Tomcat is working inside of Eclipse. For the sake of the fact that it took me forever to get it working and set up, I'm not going to go in on how to do that. There's plenty of tutorials online on how to do that. It just took me so long to get it figured out that I don't really want to go into how to get it set up. And even at this point, I'm having issues with it being set up because I have another class, a PHP class I'm taking, that basically took the ports that Apache wants to run, and I've gone in and tried to change the ports and it's still not working. So I got to go in and figure out which ports I can use to get it to work. And so because of that, I'm not really going to go into Apache that much, and I'm not going to show you how to do it. Instead, I'm just going to tell you, just Google it and you can find information on how to set it up inside of Eclipse. So when you create a servlet, basically it's going to connect you to a server. You're going to create an application that's going to connect you to a server. And right here I have this server set up with my Tomcat, Apache Tomcat server. And then right here I basically have created an application, not an application, a project for my servlet that I'm going to write some code for. And then I've gone in and I've written some code, which is right here for it. But before I did that, I actually had to come to the library and I had to stick this portion inside the library, the servlet API.jar in the library, that basically it's the servlet library. So it's going to have all the information regarding servlets so that you don't have to sit there and write the code completely out for it. It's basically going to be built into your library. And so when I started my code, I basically did this import java.io, which is basically it's basically importing the IO from the library, so I don't have to write any code for that. And then I created the class called Servlets, and then it's going to extend the HTTP servlet. And so after that, I created a public void, and then inside of that, I did an HTTP servlet request, and HTTP servlet response, which that's basically to, I think, connect us to our server. And so this program that I created is basically, I created a calendar that's going to show up on my server, and it's going to refresh so that every 5 seconds it's refreshing the calendar, so it's updating the minutes, hours, and seconds every 5 seconds. And so basically that's what my code does here. And so as you can see, I did a response.setIntHeader refresh, and then I did a 5-second interval, and then a response set content type, and it's a text./HTML because this is going to our server, which is an HTML document. And then I created a calendar, and then I came down here and I basically did a print write out equals response.getWriter. And then basically through here is setting up the HTML that's going to go into the server. And that's my program that I created. So the reason why I can't get my program to run when I play it, yeah, see, I'm getting this error, and the reason why I'm getting this error is because my ports aren't set up correctly, because the ports that the default ports of Tomcat I'm already using with another program for another class. And so I got to figure out, I've already changed some of the ports, but the configuration isn't correct, so I have to go back in and look at it and get it configured correctly. But if I had the ports working correctly, this page would show up with basically that calendar on it, and that calendar would be updating every 5 seconds. And that's how you create servlets. I don't know if it's exactly hard. I think the hardest part about this servlet is really getting the Apache Tomcat set up, making sure that the ports are working correctly. Outside of that, I don't think like writing the code was that hard. It's just basically creating code and then converting that code into an HTML document that will be recognized by HTML, which is what I did right here. It basically makes it so the code is recognized by HTML. Anyways, that's servlets for you.